Be sure to grab your copy of my brand new book, Leader Mindset Activation. Just click on the link in the description below. Hey there, welcome back to the Oversight Global Transformation Channel. Angilie Kapoor here, leadership coach and founder of Oversight Global. So in today's video, we'll be discussing how practice makes perfect for first-time and struggling managers who may lack experience in and have anxiety about things like making decisions, having difficult conversations, as well as handling conflict. Now, my personal experience has taught me that leadership roles can be challenging and overwhelming, especially when you're expected to do things that you've never done before. Now, in my first management role, I found myself unprepared for things like decision making, having difficult conversations, as well as handling conflict. I had no training in these areas, and I was apprehensive to seek out guidance from my superiors. Now, it was challenging, and I made some mistakes along the way. However, I learned from each mistake and found that practice was the only way to improve. It was the critical component that allowed me to develop the skills I now use frequently, even in my current role as a coach and business owner. So here's what you can expect in today's video. So we'll talk about the importance of practice for managers. We'll talk about decision making. We'll also talk about having difficult conversations. We'll talk about handling conflict as well as how to practice effectively. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, in any profession, practice makes perfect, but it's particularly true for management roles. Now, as a new or struggling manager, you need to have a safe environment to explore handling difficult situations, and most importantly, practicing them without real world consequences. And we will touch more on that a little bit later in this video. But when you practice regularly, it allows you to hone your skills and prepare for the unexpected. So one of the first things that managers struggle with is making decisions. Now, if you are stuck in indecision, you will find yourself unable to act on any situation, and that might send a message to your team that you're not in control. It is essential that you take the time to evaluate the facts and make informed decisions. Again, I repeat, make informed decisions. Being sure to take into account all the information at your disposal, being thoughtful of the impact of your decision, as well as not making decisions based on emotions, such as wanting to be liked or doing what's popular. Now, I distinctly remember in my first manager role that making decisions was difficult mainly because I worried about making the wrong decision. And no matter how careful I was, I would always hear about how my decision didn't go over well with someone. Ultimately, I learned that you can't make everyone happy, and there will be times that your decision is unpopular. You also have to realize that there are things at play that people just aren't aware of, and that their focus and perspective is different as well. So it's okay if you don't quite get it right every once in a while, but the important thing is that you do your due diligence in examining the information you have to make an informed decision. Each decision-making experience will bring you closer to perfection in your decision-making, and learn to be okay with the fact that you can't make everyone happy all the time. Now, time for a quick check-in. If you're finding this video useful to your management journey so far, please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this one. So another aspect of management that can be daunting is having difficult conversations about employee performance, expectations, etc. The thought of doing this makes even the most seasoned managers cringe. I know from my own experience that new or struggling managers tend to put off these conversations, but I've also seen the damage that this actually can do. Avoiding such conversations can negatively affect the rest of your team and ultimately impact your productivity of your team. I've seen how putting off or failing to address something like a staff member's poor attendance can send negative messages to the rest of your team and cause morale and productivity to decline quickly. That's why it's super important to handle these types of situations and have these conversations ASAP before it does damage to the rest of your team and, more importantly, to your work environment. Now, as a manager, it's important to develop the skills of approaching conducting such conversations in a constructive and effective way. Now, the more you practice this ability, the easier it becomes to deliver bad news without losing yourself during the conversation. Now, lastly, handling conflict is a crucial part of a manager's responsibilities, though actually doing it is another story. Again, even for the most seasoned managers, conflicts can arise from different perspectives, beliefs, and competencies. Now, handling conflict is very similar to having difficult conversations, which we just discussed. Failure to handle it properly can also lead to an unhealthy work environment, low morale, and negative impact on your team's productivity. So again, you want to nip it in the bud ASAP. A manager who is capable of managing and resolving different situations can smoothly steer their team through the conflict and minimize the potential for disruption. Now that we've covered these three difficult tasks and have established that practice is key to developing these critical skills, now how do you practice effectively? Now, here are some tips for you. So use role play simulations. Now, this will help you easily adapt to different scenarios that may arise, providing you with a wider perspective on approaching situations. So I specifically like this tip about using role play simulation because you can practice with someone else, another manager. You guys can practice together in a safe environment that is not real life, real world situations without the impending possible negative consequences of you not, doing that ability correctly. So, for example, in making informed decisions, if you practice with another manager as a partner in doing some role play scenarios, so that you can get the practice and start to improve and build up your skills, you're able to do that in a safe environment to where if you're doing that in a real world situation and you happen to make an incorrect decision, it doesn't negatively impact you, your team, and your organization. It's again, you're building your skills and you're practicing in a safe environment that doesn't have any negative consequences attached to them. So my second tip is to seek out feedback and critique. Now, this can help you get a sense of how others perceive your approach and what changes that you require and that you can make to better improve yourself in these abilities. Also, don't be scared to make mistakes. Now, making mistakes is essential in identifying areas that require improvement. I know that we're taught that making mistakes and failing is bad, but that actually couldn't be further from the truth. Making mistakes and failing is how we learn and grow. So make that mindset shift and overcome that belief that mistakes and failing are negative. And then my last tip is to learn continuously. Be open to learning from your experiences and the feedback you receive. Now, one of the best habits I got into as a new manager was taking a few minutes to debrief and think about how I handled a conversation or situation. I thought about what I seem to have done right, wrong, how could I have done something different or better. Now, taking a few minutes to do this allowed me to learn from each experience and also enable me to improve in future interactions. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap this up. Now, as a first-time or struggling manager, it's important to learn to manage challenging situations and sharpen your problem-solving skills. And the more you practice and apply these skills, the better manager you will become. Take a deep breath, seek out guidance, and embrace the practice because practice makes perfect and the benefits will resonate throughout your management career. And if you'd like to learn more about thriving instead of struggling, as well as unleashing your inner phenomenal leader, be sure to grab your copy of my brand new book, Leader Mindset Activation. In it, I give you a behind-the-scenes look at what propelled my career and how I transformed from a struggling manager to a thriving, empowering leader. Just click the link in the description below to learn more and grab your copy. And with that, thanks so much for watching. Remember, leadership is a journey, not a destination. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.